Good morning, students. Welcome back to the another fresh video. So today's video is belongs to the third part of the rise and spread of Islam. So in the first point it is Muslim contribution to the culture of Europe. So how the Muslim religion they contribute their culture to the Europe culture. So Muslim scholars developed various centers of higher education like universities like in Basra and Baghdad that is present in Iraq and Cairo and Alexandria that is located in Egypt and Cordoba that is presented in Spain. So because of the Muslim scholars their interest towards the learning, their interest towards the education, they developed various higher education universities. The monopoly of the traders acting as a link between the eastern and the western countries led to an interaction between the different societies because of Europe. So because of the monopoly of traders, they are giving a link towards the eastern and western countries. So during Abbasids rule, opened the House of Wisdom in Baghdad for interest in education and learning. It was a big and famous library in Iraq. So during the Abbasids rule, they opened the House of Wisdom in Baghdad because of the interest, the education's interest towards the education and learning. They opened the big and famous library that was the House of Wisdom. Then the major works of the Persians, the Greeks, and the Indian were translated into Arabic language. So they are the major work is after the curiosity, after the interest towards the education and learning. They do the Persians, the Greeks, and the Indians. Their work, their culture, whatever the Russians, Greeks, and Indians developed or created, they translated into Arabic language, so that Arabic persons, Arabic people learn something from the Persians, Greeks, and Indians. The growth of the churches find the monasteries, the monopoly of the Arab traders, and the Crusades helped to develop a new kind of culture. So because of the growth of churches in all the Europe sides, so they find the monasteries where the follower of Christians like monk and nun they are living. So the monopoly of the Arab traders and the crusades that have a war between Muslim and Christians. So these Arab traders and the crusades that helped created a new kind of culture that helped to develop a new kind of culture. In the 13th and 14th centuries, many universities were established, like Paris, Bologna, Constantinople, and Oxford. These are then places like France, Italy, Eastern Roman Empire, Germany, England. So in these two centuries, so most of the many universities were established because of the interest towards their learning, towards their education. They developed universities. Now in the field of science, the European scholars owe their knowledge in science to Muslim scientists. Muslim scholars built laboratories in this period where many science subjects like physics, chemistry, medicines were taught. So this system was named as Unani system as it derived from the Greek scientists. So which system? Now the scholars if that they have built a laboratory, they started to um, they started to teach the subject science subjects. So these are the system they created. This system was named as Unani system because they learned from this system from the Greek scientists. And Ibn Sina and I. Razi were great Arab scientists and physicians. Ibn Sina wrote an encyclopedia of medicine in 5 books called Al-Kunam and the Canon of Medicine. He was known as the Prince of Physicians. So Ibn Sina is a famous physician and scientist in the Arab country. So he wrote encyclopedia of medicines in 5 books, and that 5 books called Al-Kunam or the Canon of Medicine. So he was known as he was famous as the Prince of Physicians. Then in the field of mathematics, Al-Biruni was a famous astronomer and mathematician. Omar Khayyam was a great mathematician, another. Then Arabic numerals and clumsy Roman numerals. The Muslims had learned this system of number writing from Indians. Okay, so Arab rulers, the Muslim scholars, Arab scholars like Al-Biruni, Omar Khayyam, so they are the great mathematicians and astronomers. They learned Arabic numerals and clumsy Roman numerals from the Muslims, had learned this system of number writing from the Indians. Okay, so Muslims scholars they learn from Indians like Arabic numerals and clumsy Roman numerals. Then in the field of literature, the Arabs produced famous books in the literature such as Rubaiyat, book of poetry, Arabian Nights, the evergreen tales of adventure, and Sahanamah by Firdausi. They are the most famous books of the Arabs. At that time, because of the interest, the curiosity about towards the learning and education, the Arabs produced famous books in literature such as Rubaiyat, book of poetry, the Arabian Nights, the evergreen tales of adventure, and Sahanamah by Firdausi. So these are the books, the famous books in the Arab trade by the Muslims. They produced at that time. Now in art and culture, Islamic art, like in the early period, Muslims forbade painting of human forms. Islamic art was a combination of different elements like abstract, decorative with portrayal of geometric, floral, and calligraphic designs. So these are the signs, these are the symbols of elements they are reflected in their art. So these are the art called Islamic art. So in the early period, Muslims forbade the paintings of human forms. Like they're trying to create the human shape, human figures of the art or painting. So after that, they have a combination between the different elements. So they have to try to imagination, abstract things. And they're trying to decorate or something else. Then they use the floral and calligraphic designs in their art. And in between, the Islamic art is developed in such a high level so that they're famous in all over the world. Then India and the Arabs. So how the India and the Arabs are interlinked interactions between. The interaction between the Indians and the Muslims increased greatly in the early 13th century. So interaction between the Indians and the Muslims increased greatly in the early 13th century. Qutbuddin Aibak became the first Muslim ruler of India in 1206 AD. Okay, when Muslim came to India, the first ruler of Qutbuddin Aibak became the first Muslim ruler of India in 1206 AD. So this was translated. He was translated from the Persian into the Arabic language. Arab people respected Indian culture. So the Arab people, the Muslims, they respected Indian culture. So they translated Persian to Arabic language, but still then they are respected Indian culture because from the Indians they learned so many things. They translated so many books from the Arabic, from Indian books to Arabic language. They learned Arabic numeral. They learned Roman numeral from the Indians, and they also respected Indian cultures. So medical treatises like Susutra, Charaka were translated into Arabic by them. So they're trying to learn so many more things about the medical field. So they translated these two famous books like Susutra and Charka. How the medical work is going on in India, how they can develop in the early stage in the medical field. So they translated these two books into Arabic. Various Indian books like Brahmariya and Aryabhatta were translated. So they translated so many famous books into Arabic language so that Arab scholars they can learn from the beginning, from the base of the anything, like in the medical field or in the mathematics field or in the physics field. So they're trying to learn from the base, and for that reason they developed this book. They translated these books from the Indian to Arabic language. The decimal system and the concept of zero was brought by them from India. So decimal system also and the concept of zero they brought from India. So most of the part, whatever they have now today, at the early stage, they at the early stage they borrowed everything from India. They borrowed decimal, they borrowed concept of zero, they borrowed numeral number, they borrowed a Roman number. They translated all the medical treatises like Susutra and Charka. They translated some famous books like Baramiriha, Aryabhat. So all these things they borrowed from India and they translated into Arabic language so that their scholars learn more from these Indian books. Thank you students for being with me at the last of this video. I hope you all understood well. Please refer your book, read the whole chapter, because here I have written only some main points where you can write down in your notebook also, so for your reference, and you also read the books. Okay, so follow the book, read the book, and make some more points. So I will meet you in my another video. Till then, see you, take care, bye.